Tonight on CTV News, shake-up in BC politics.
I'm currently still the leader of the party. Nothing has changed since we discussed this morning.
I've been asked to take on the job of interim leader for the party.
This is out of order. I am disappointed in my colleagues.
Chaos within the BC Conservative Party. The party says it has ousted John Rustad as leader. Where will the roller coaster land?
He's a coward. He's an old coward.
Sentencing continues for the man who killed Chelsea Gauthier, a young mother of two. The latest twist creating another delay.
I'm surprised his cat's still there. He was in there searching. He was hiding, I don't even know where.
And a massive fire rips through a Steveston apartment building, leaving dozens homeless. The scramble to rescue pets trapped by flame.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin with the official opposition in disarray. The BC Conservatives say they have removed John Rustad as their leader. The bombshell came just a couple hours after Rustad said he was not quitting. His caucus divided on who their leader is. CTV's Rob Buffum joins us live from the legislature with more on this developing story. Rob, it has been quite a tumultuous day there.
As you just saw there, Mi Jung, there's been a lot going on in the hallway. It's been a high-stakes, high-drama day here for the BC Conservatives and for John Rustad. And at this hour, it is still uncertain who the official leader of the official opposition is.
I'm not planning to step aside at this point. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
John Rustad remained defiant in the face of a mutiny.
I'm moving forward as the leader of the Conservative Party of British Columbia.
The BC Conservatives leader responding to a letter sent by a party lawyer indicating more than half of his caucus, 20 out of 39 MLAs, had signed letters asking him to step down. Hours later in the hallway, chaos and confusion. Some members maintaining their loyalty to Rustad.
100% of my support. He always will and he always has.
John is our leader. He will continue to be our leader, and he will be the next Premier of BC.
Others adamant he'd been ousted.
There's been a vote, and the majority have issued non-confidence in John.
By afternoon, the party issuing a release that its board of directors had removed Rustad as leader because it deemed him professionally incapacitated, seemingly due to his caucus members losing confidence.
The writing is not just on the wall, it's on the floor, it's on the ceiling, and it really is a question of when and not if Mr. Rustad leaves the stage at this point.
The party also said its directors appointed MLA Trevor Halford interim leader.
I've been asked to take on the job of interim leader for the party, and I've accepted that.
The Premier weighed in on the revolt amongst his official opposition.
I don't know how you could hold a group together with that kind of hodgepodge of craziness.
As the day wore on, Rustad remained resolute. He wasn't leaving, and his defectors and the board didn't have the legal right to boot him.
So I'm currently still the leader of the party. Nothing has changed since we discussed this morning.
He can fight this if he wants. There are legalities and there are realities.
The reality for now, the official opposition is fractured.
Will we know by the end of the day who the leader of the Conservative Party BC is?
Yes, we'll release the information.
With an open coup on its leader who won't go gently into the good night. Mi Jung, at this hour, it still remains unclear, as I mentioned, just who the leader is. I'm outside the office of the Speaker. You've seen a few Conservatives walking by me. They were just in meeting with Raj Chauhan, the Speaker of the House. Earlier today, Trevor Halford had a meeting with Mr. Chauhan, and John Rustad was in there about an hour ago. The Speaker said that he would have news soon. I think what's happening is both Halford and those people who support him, as well as Rustad, who's defiant and staying on, have made a pitch to the Speaker of the House that they properly should be the leader of the official opposition. We'll have to wait and see how this unfolds. I spoke to Mike Farnworth, the House leader for the NDP. His line to me was, it's their mess to clean up. So we've been at this for about 12 hours. We'll have to wait and see. But again, John Rustad says that he does not think it's legally proper that he's being removed in this way. The idea of him being professionally incapacitated, he thinks is an incorrect framing of this, and he feels like he has the right to stay on and is going to fight for his right to do so. We'll have to wait and see what Raj Chauhan decides, though. But it has certainly been a wild, in many ways unprecedented day here. Mi Jung.
Yeah, quite the messy affair. We'll follow any developments that happen tonight. Thanks a lot, Rob. The Premier is hoping to salvage the jobs of hundreds of mill workers on Vancouver Island, now facing unemployment. David Eby held meetings today in the hope that the Crofton Pulp Mill can stay open. While he blames the U.S. trade war, the company is pointing the finger at government regulations. CTV's Penny Daflos explains.
350 people clock into good-paying jobs at this Vancouver Island pulp mill. They're now being laid off as the company operating the Crofton Mill plans to close it permanently.
It's a real punch to the gut for our whole community.
Weeks before Christmas in a longtime logging town.
It supported our family and so many families in this town. It's part of our heritage.
Once you lose those, they're pretty hard to get back. And these are people who, they shop at our local businesses. They contribute a lot to our local economy.
Workers will be on site until February and in some cases April.
The company claims tariffs aren't the main issue, instead blaming the closure on government regulations. Domtar says logging approvals that used to take weeks now take years, and they've been importing wood fiber from the U.S. to keep the operation running.
It's cheaper and it's more readily available and dependable in terms of its supply. And so that should give an indication to British Columbians of where we're at.
This is a 5-alarm dumpster fire.
It's not just British Columbia. 4 sectors across Canada and around the world are facing significant challenges.
The NDP points to U.S. tariffs and insists there are international factors in commodity prices at play.
We have 7 million cubic meters of permitted trees on Vancouver Island that are available right now that can't be used because between the low prices and the cost to cut down those trees, but particularly to transport them to the facility, is such that it's uneconomic.
Premier David Eby has now met with the union and Mayor of North Cowichan and recognizes the ripple effects to the economy on the island and beyond.
We're all hands on deck to try to figure out if there's some way to keep this facility operating.
The issue is fiber supply, and so if we can't do it, it's a real challenge for anybody to come in.
The forestry sector is one of many industries that's been urging policymakers to clear up red tape to help keep them viable. This appears to be another example where the government is trying to stem the bleeding after the fact rather than being more proactive. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Turning to another emotionally charged day in court, a surprising development from the 70-year-old man who killed a young Indigenous mother of 2. Now a twist that has delayed his sentencing. Chelsea Gauthier was stabbed to death 8 years ago. CTV's Michelle Bernaro reports on why the family was so disappointed today in their long wait for justice.
Gary, anything you would like to say to the family? Whether it's outside the courthouse or in police interviews like this one obtained by CTV News through court.
I didn't do it, and I want to get this cleared up.
For years, Gary Loesch has repeatedly denied having anything to do with the killing of 22-year-old Chelsea Gauthier 8 years ago.
What do you think happened to her when she was up there?
I have no idea. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know.
But Wednesday, family thought Loesch was about to tell the truth.
Mr. Loesch was anticipated today at the conclusion of proceedings, which didn't occur, that he was prepared to give a statement to the family, accepting responsibility for what he's done and apologizing.
But the apology didn't come as court waits for a report on whether Loesch has Indigenous heritage that should be considered during sentencing. Gauthier was killed in 2017. Her partially clothed body was found in a remote forested area near Mission, where she had gone with Loesch to help tend to his marijuana grow operations. There was no evidence of sexual assault, but for years her killing went unsolved. Defense told the judge an apology was forthcoming after Loesch, who sobbed in court Tuesday, heard gut-wrenching victim impact statements. Still, family and friends question whether an apology would even be sincere.
All of a sudden, there is so much remorse for what he has done, and not once through the trial was one tear shed.
I think it's all for show. If he was sorry, he would have said something prior. He's had multiple years and multiple opportunities to admit to something, to apologize, and he is only doing it now.
Crown is asking for a sentence of 14 years. Defense thinks 10 is more appropriate. But for now, the sentencing has been put on hold. Meaning for now, Loesch, who has an extensive criminal history, remains free on bail. Michelle Bernaro, CTV News, Abbotsford.
The mayor of Surrey is not saying "I told you so," but her concerns are turning into reality. She's slamming the latest ballooning budget from the Surrey Police Service. She says if approved, it would mean a hefty property tax hike for Surrey residents. But critics say the mayor is playing politics. CTV's Dimitra Maragos has the story.
Mayor Brenda Locke.
We will not accept this budget at this rate at this time.
Strongly opposes the $91 million increase in the Surrey Police Service's provisional budget of more than $330 million.
We know it's going to cost more for a municipal police force. We've said that all along, but this is completely unacceptable.
Locke says this will fall on the taxpayers and result in an 18% property tax increase.
I don't think there's any taxpayer in the city of Surrey that would even want us to consider it.
The chair of the Surrey Police Board says,
honestly, I was quite surprised.
This wasn't the response he was expecting.
The board's responsibility is to ensure SPS has the resources required to keep Surrey safe.
He says the board is willing to come to the table to find middle ground.
We requested a meeting with mayor and council. I believe we're at 3 times now through the board and have not had a response yet.
City Councillor Linda Annis, who's challenging Locke for the mayor's position in next year's election, is slamming her opponent.
Largely, this lies at the feet of the mayor. She has done everything she possibly can to derail, to stop this transition, and we need to get on with it.
She says the funding for this increase is there.
We know that they are within the $250 million funding allotment from the province.
And increases should be expected.
When you're starting a transition, as you move through, upfront costs like IT, police cars and equipment cost more.
SPS has expanded their jurisdiction to all of South Surrey. They believe this transition will be done between 2026 and 2027. Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Surrey.
A deadly collision involving a pedestrian in Burnaby last night is under investigation. Mounties say it happened on Kingsway near Edmund Street just after 7 p.m. Police say the driver remained on scene but aren't sharing any details about the victim or vehicle. Investigators are seeking dash cam video and witnesses as they try to figure out what happened in the moments leading to the collision. Fire investigators are waiting until a building in Richmond is deemed safe to enter before beginning a full inspection. The apartment complex in Steveston suddenly caught fire, and now dozens of people are out of their homes. St. Alexander has the details.
Just before 8 o'clock, the sound of someone in distress. Get out! When smoke is suddenly spotted.
Oh my God, there's fire.
Is there?
There's smoke coming from the top of that.
Call 911. Multiple calls are made Tuesday night as flames are clearly tearing through an apartment on the 3rd floor.
Oh my God! Oh.
Firefighters on scene, the battle in this huge rental apartment complex in Steveston is focused on the roof. Fire now poking through several spots.
Every crew in the city but one is here at this fire.
The strategy paid off as crews got the upper hand and won. Residents who could snuck back in to find loved ones, like Prince Harry.
Yeah.
The cat, that is, companion to an 84-year-old woman.
I'm surprised this cat's still there. He was in there searching. He was hiding, I don't even know where, but it took me a while to find him.
Honestly, it was really terrifying because even though there's a bit of distance between the buildings, you just never know.
At least 18 units have been damaged, but by day, residents are surprised the building is still standing. There was so much fire, so much smoke.
They became so thick from all the water, it actually lowered down here and covered this entire area like fog.
This is a pet-friendly complex. There were a lot inside, and it's not clear whether they've all been found.
I couldn't take the birds. We got 7 birds that fly free because I couldn't catch them, and so we left the windows open. I know that's a no-no, but I thought that's the only way the birds might survive.
Both cats survived the fire. That's the main thing, and it was the apartment right next to where the fire was. And we found them, and they were both alive, so that's all we needed to do.
And it may be some time before the exact cause is known. But what's remarkable, in a building this size, everyone got out.
Often when we've seen these in the past, what really saves people is they're responding to the alarm and getting out of the building in a timely, efficient manner.
In fact, only one person was hurt, and his injuries are described as minor. St. Alexander, CTV News, Richmond.
And let's go to Ann Lou now, who's live at Noel Surrey, which this year includes the Bright Nights light display. And the Cloverdale Fairgrounds have really been transformed.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's a great way to get into the holiday spirit, Mijang. Thousands and thousands of lights, as you can see behind me. Huge Christmas tree. There's holiday characters. I saw Olaf the Snowman. Anna and Elsa are here. The Grinch. And, of course, you can get pictures with Santa as well. So it's a great vibe. Everybody's very excited to ring in the holidays. And, yeah, the holiday spirit is definitely here. We're indoors right now. Outside, there's lots of lights and food trucks as well. It is cooler outside, so let's see what we can expect as we head through the overnight. It is dry right now, but the rain will return later on tonight through the overnight into tomorrow. It's going to be a gray and wet day, so make sure you have your umbrellas handy.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
And as you mentioned, Mijang, Bright Nights is here this year, the first time since leaving Stanley Park. So we'll chat with the Burn Fund to see what people can expect this year here at the Cloverdale Fairgrounds coming up.
Yeah, and I like how there's indoor and outdoor aspects, so it doesn't really matter what the weather is, right?
Exactly. Perfect.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Thanks, Ann. There could be some travel turbulence. Labor problems are brewing at Air Transat, also coming up.
These are VIP tickets for some of the best locations inside BC Place.
World Cup kicks off in Vancouver in 6 months, but the city isn't keen on revealing details about its swanky sweet packages bought by taxpayers. When CTV News at 6 continues. Stay with us. The World Cup starts in 6 months, but there are still plenty of unknowns about the cost to taxpayers. Local independent journalist Bob Mackin wanted to find out about the millions of dollars set aside by the city of Vancouver to buy pricey lounge and suite packages. And tonight he's sharing his FOI results, or a lack thereof, with CTV News' Shannon Patterson.
When BC Place hosts 7 World Cup matches next year, some spectators will watch from the comfort of very swanky and very expensive lounges and private suites.
These are VIP tickets for some of the best locations inside BC Place for the World Cup matches that are coming here in June and July.
As a World Cup host, FIFA offered Vancouver early access to VIP suite and lounge packages at face value that the city could turn around and sell to large companies and regional sponsors, presumably for a profit.
All they told me back in July was that they got about $13.4 million set aside to make these purchases.
So the editor of the Breaker News made a Freedom of Information request to the city of Vancouver.
I made that FOI request to find out how much they ordered and how much they were invoiced for, and what I got back was grayed out, redacted, censored. They don't want us to know how many tickets and suites and lounges they bought and how much they paid.
The redacted documents didn't reveal if the city has managed to resell any of the VIP suites and lounge tickets it bought with taxpayer dollars.
They can't keep this hidden from us forever. I've complained to the Information Privacy Commissioner.
This is 100% an accountability issue. If the city of Vancouver is going to use taxpayer money to essentially act as a ticket scalper, we deserve to know exactly how much money they spent, how much interest they've received, and whether or not this ends up being a good deal for taxpayers.
In an email, the city would only confirm that any ticket purchases it's made are in support of FIFA's sponsorship program, which generates revenue to offset the hosting costs.
Will they be able to sell all these tickets and packages, and to whom? In this economic environment, when so many companies are looking at cutting back and laying off staff, the question is, will there be any clients for this package?
It's a question the city doesn't seem prepared to answer. Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
A BC man will spend 2 years under house arrest in Kelowna for stabbing a stranger outside a nightclub in Banff in 2022. 23-year-old John Sproul was originally convicted of second-degree murder in the killing of Ryden Brogdon, but was later found guilty of manslaughter. In September 2022, Sproul asked the victim for a cigarette, and a violent fight broke out. It ended with Brogdon being stabbed 19 times. Today, the judge said this was a case of self-defense that went too far.
There's nothing any sentence can do to get over the fact that he took another young man's life, so it's something he's going to be living with for the rest of his life.
The Crown had argued Sproul should be sentenced to between 5 and 6 years. Some members of the victim's family walked out of the courtroom, visibly upset in the middle of sentencing. Disturbing allegations against a Calgary teen. He's accused of using AI to exploit local girls. Also coming up.
A December strike will be catastrophic because capacity is already saturated.
A looming possible strike for Air Transat pilots, piling on the pressure before the busy Christmas rush. How soon they could strike? That's ahead. A Calgary teen is facing charges relating to AI-generated child sexual abuse material. The Alberta Law Enforcement Response Team's Internet Child Exploitation Unit has charged a high school student after using a search warrant at a home on November 13th. It's alleged that AI technology was used to sexualize photos of teen girls who attended several different high schools in the Calgary area.
Our biggest takeaway from today is that we need people to understand that this is not a joke, it's not a prank. This is the most extreme form of bullying and a criminal offense. We will take steps to stop this behavior.
Police are not identifying the suspect nor the high schools in order to protect the identity of the victims, who have all been provided support services. Some holiday travel could be disrupted as Air Transat pilots have voted to go on strike as early as next week. The union says that 99% of pilots voted to walk off the job as part of their pressure tactics. The pilots say they want industry standard pay and better working conditions. They'll give 72 hours notice beforehand, but could go on strike just 1 week from today.
A December strike will be catastrophic because capacity is already saturated. Other airlines like Air Canada and WestJet are flying full plane for the holidays.
Air Transat has struggled amid staff competition for vacation destinations and a large debt burden. It's also dealing with engine recalls that have grounded 4 of its 43 planes. As one Canadian city grapples with layoffs at a major steel plant, its sister city just across the border is feeling the pain of U.S. tariffs as well. The Sault Ste. Marie International Bridge spans 4.5 kilometers, connecting the two Saults on either side of the St. Mary's River. Residents in Michigan say rising grocery prices are hurting their wallets as business owners struggle to absorb the costs of tariffs. In Ontario, where 1,000 steelworkers have just been laid off, one barber is offering discounts to give back.
It's the least I can do, and a little bit of affordability to offer these people dignity, because they'll be looking for jobs, and there'll be a lot of people just going to be in a bad way.
Officials in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario say they were already expecting an increase in social service needs in 2026. After the layoffs at Algoma Steel, that demand is expected to increase even more. The doctor who sold large amounts of ketamine to actor Matthew Perry before he died has been sentenced. To that story ahead. And
it's really a sport for anyone of all different levels of ability.
The premier international sailing competition for people with disabilities is returning to Vancouver next summer, a showcase for the power of adaptive sport. That's ahead.
This week, CTV is kicking off the holidays with our favorite event, Toy Mountain. Join us this Thursday and Friday at Guildford Town Centre as we collect new unwrapped toys and donations in support of the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau. Or you can donate online at ctvvancouver.ca. Let's build a mountain and put smiles on a whole lot of faces for the holidays. Toy Mountain is made possible by our friends at Alpine Credits, Applewood Auto Group, and Triple O's.
Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now.
Spotify Wrapped is out, revealing this year's top music trends. In Canada, Drake led streams, followed by Taylor Swift, Morgan Wallen, The Weeknd, and Kendrick Lamar. Alex Warren's Ordinary was the top song, while Wallen's I'm the Problem topped albums. Globally, Bad Bunny claimed the top artist spot for the 4th year, and Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars Hit Die with a Smile was the most streamed track with over 1.7 billion plays. A doctor who pleaded guilty to selling ketamine to actor Matthew Perry in the weeks before his fatal overdose has been sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. He's the first of 5 people to be sentenced in connection to the actor's death. Prosecutors were asking for a 3-year prison sentence for Dr. Salvador Placentia after getting a plea agreement where he admitted to selling Perry large amounts of ketamine, knowing he was a struggling addict. He has not been accused of selling the dose that killed the Friends star in October 2023. No Frills has officially jumped on the 6-7 bandwagon. The discount grocery banner featured their 6-7 sale, items sold at increments of 67 cents this week. Social media reaction is mixed, as some find the campaign is trying to latch on with the 6-7 trend, especially with Generation Alpha. And for many others, they just love the fact that they are getting a good discount. And let's go to Anne back out in Surrey. There's probably a lot of people in the age demographic that would use that phrase 6-7 where you are, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm all about rating this as a 10, though. 6-7, not on my vocabulary. But yes, we're here at Noel Festival in Surrey. The Bright Nights is included in that this year as well, and we'll get more information on that coming up. But first, let's take a look at our forecast, and rain is on the way once again. Here's a look at our satellite radar imagery. We do have a low pressure system offshore. That is going to bring in the wet weather once again as we head into tonight, continuing through the overnight and into tomorrow. So this is a look at our weather tracker right now. Dry conditions with, as mentioned, rain moving its way in. It will be wet for your early morning commute, but then it dries up for most of the afternoon with rain redeveloping as we head into your afternoon commute back home for the evening. So this is what we can expect as we head into tomorrow for the North Island. You're looking at a wet start for Port Hardy, and then it dries up, cloudy skies through the afternoon, 8 degrees. Periods of rain for Campbell River and Comox with a high of 7 degrees. For the South Island, it is going to be a soggy one from Tofino right down to Victoria. You're looking at temperatures between 6 and 9 degrees. For the Sunshine Coast, it'll be a wet one, 6 degrees. And that's what you can expect up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish at 6. It'll be a little drier for Whistler, cloudy skies, a few showers, and a high of 2 degrees. And for us across the Lower Mainland, we will see some light rain, anywhere between 5 to 10 millimeters is expected. Temperatures between 6 and 7 degrees. Heading into Friday, periods of rain at 8 degrees. The weekend, not a bad start at all. We'll start off with mostly cloudy skies, some sunny breaks in there. Showers return in the afternoon. Steady rain again for Sunday. On Monday, we start off cloudy. Rain returns in the afternoon. A few showers on Tuesday, Wednesday. Starting off cloudy with showers returning as we head into the afternoon. So a little bit of everything for the next 7 days. So that's why it's great to be indoors here at Noel Festival in Surrey. And joining me now is Grant Smith, retired firefighter with the Professional Burn Fund. You're on the board of directors for Professional Firefighters Burn Fund. Thank you so much. So Bright Nights is here in Cloverdale. So why was it important for you guys to continue Bright Nights even though it's moved from Stanley Park?
Yeah, for sure. It's one of our largest fundraising events of Bright Nights, one of our largest fundraising events for the Burn Fund. And all the proceeds go to support burn survivors across BC and the Yukon. And that supports all their programs. And we really appreciate any donations that we get at this event.
And it's such an important fundraiser. So what can people expect in Surrey versus what they got at Stanley Park?
Yeah, well, here there's a lot of interactive light displays, entertainment. There's a Ferris wheel outside. There's a larger light walk. Firefighters, of course, with candy canes. And there's actually a Christmas market. And the Grinch inside you saw, and Santa. So lots of awesome things to get everyone in the holiday spirit.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, and lots of other firefighters here as well. So yes, come on down to Noel Festival in Surrey. Bright Nights is here this year, and it continues right through until December 28th. Mijung?
Well, Anne, I know you like food, so one quick question. I'm assuming there's food there too?
Oh yes, There's lots of food trucks outside and inside, so come on down and enjoy it.
All right, thanks a lot, Anne. Vancouver is celebrating a major homecoming for adaptive sport. The Adaptive Sailing Association of BC has announced the 2026 Mobility Cup will return to the city where it all began. From September 8th to 12th, sailors from around the world will race at Jericho Beach for the regatta's 35th anniversary. First launched in Vancouver in 1991, the Mobility Cup aims to prove anyone can sail regardless of ability. The last time Vancouver hosted was in 2010. Our new weekly feature, Homeward Bound, is coming up, introducing you to furry friends looking for a family to love. And winter tires aren't just for snowy roads. Our own Ben Nesbitt gets behind the wheel to see what happens in different conditions. That's ahead on CTV News at 6. Today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 71 cents to the American dollar. Oil was up 31 cents closing the day at $58.95 a barrel. Gold gained nearly $12 on the day. A good day for the markets. TSX up 111 points. The Dow Jones up 408 points. Canadians affected by a major 23andMe data breach could soon get compensation after reaching a proposed class action settlement with the genetic testing company. Nearly 320,000 Canadians were among 7 million people whose sensitive data, including health and ancestry details, were exposed by hackers in 2023. The proposed settlement of nearly $4.5 million comes as 23andMe undergoes bankruptcy proceedings. If it's approved by U.S. and Canadian bankruptcy courts, eligible customers could receive up to $2,500. With colder weather on the way, experts are reminding drivers to prepare their vehicles, especially when it comes to having the right tires. Today, our Ben Nesbitt saw firsthand just how big a role they play.
And suddenly, brake.
It happens quickly. You're cruising along when suddenly you're forced to hit the brakes. Experts say the tires on your vehicle will likely be a key factor in what happens next.
That winter tire is going to give you the best vehicle control, the best acceleration from a stop, the best braking.
Dan Guilfoyle is a driving instructor at the Justice Institute of BC. He says when temperatures dip below 7 degrees, all-season tires become less effective.
Hard on the brakes, hard on the brakes, hard on the brakes. Now.
Wednesday, he gave us a chance to test this out, putting us through a series of maneuvers on the track. First, in a vehicle with all-season tires. Then another with winters.
A lot of people run with the all seasons, the mud and snows. They are not going to have the same vehicle control.
We also tested out bringing the vehicle to a stop from 50 and 60 kilometers an hour. The difference was more than a car's length.
That speed is going to be the difference between stopping before an accident or actually colliding with the vehicle ahead of you.
As winter sets in, drivers are reminded to slow down, prepare their vehicles, and follow speed limits so everyone makes it home safely. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Pitt Meadows.
Curly, Gloria, and Lorenzo are all ready to be adopted. Our pet rescue segment, Homeward Bound, is still ahead. And
turns on the near side. McKinnon scores.
Another win for Nathan McKinnon, and the league-leading Avalanche last night leaves the Canucks at the opposite end of the standings. What's next for the struggling team? The Ringside Report is next. Plus, Doppelganger delight. Adam finds out what a Victoria woman says is the greatest gift in finding a stranger who looks just like you. Coming up on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
Well, this holiday season, the Buy Canadian movement is being put to the test. Thursday on Your Morning Vancouver, are shoppers still looking for the maple leaf label before buying a product? Plus, 'tis the season for giving. We'll take you live all morning to Toy Mountain at Guildford Town Centre as the community supports families in need. We'll see you in the morning.
Ringside Report, brought to you by
CapitalDirect.ca. Let's make your vision a reality with Capital Direct. Call and talk to our team today.
There are 32 teams in the NHL, and after last night's loss in Denver, the Canucks are barely ahead of just 2 of them. As CTV's Ben Milger reports, fans may be losing interest only a third of the way into the season. And even worse, the captain could be too. Here's this week's Ringside Report.
Nice pass on the left wing. Archie Bain centers. Carlson scores.
This Linus Carlson goal early in the first was about all the Canucks had to celebrate in a 3-1 loss to the Colorado Avalanche.
It's tough to lose. We need the points right now, so I mean it's frustrating. But I don't think we played bad.
On their 4-game road trip, the Canucks beat the Ducks and then lost 3 straight to San Jose, LA, and Colorado. They've only won twice in the last 7 games and have just 10 total wins on the season.
This is a flawed roster. This is a team that was poorly constructed, hasn't been able to withstand those injuries. There isn't nearly enough depth.
Following Tuesday night's loss in Colorado, the Canucks now sit 30th out of 32 teams in the National Hockey League, just 1 point out of last place.
The irony in all of this is that the Canucks were trying to prove to Quinn Hughes that they could build a contending roster around him, and yet they've fallen flat on their face. And so you can understand his frustration.
That frustration clearly evident on this third period play against the Avalanche, where Hughes seemed to let up on the back check, allowing Colorado a grade A scoring chance. Even if it doesn't always lead to results, the captain continues to wow most nights in the offensive zone. But there are no moral victories here.
Wins are the most important thing. If you lose, but you lose 3-1 and not 5-1 or whatever not, you're still losing.
With a season and a half left on his contract and no trade protection, Hughes' value on the block may never be higher than it is now. But if the Canucks part with their captain and his generational talent, morale in the fan base may hit an all-time low. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Ringside Report, brought to you by Capital Direct.
CapitalDirect.ca.
The first road trip in Vancouver Golden Eyes history has come to an end on a sour note.
And Hartnett's on a one-timer. Loose in front. Oh, what a great save, but it goes! The rebound finds its way through, and Boston leads.
The expansion side came up short tonight against the Boston Fleet, losing 2-0. After winning their opening game, the Golden Eyes had a rough stretch away from the Pacific Coliseum, losing all 3 games on the road. The Golden Eyes now return home to host the New York Sirens Saturday at noon.
It's incredible her mental.
Police were called to a liquor store after someone broke in, drank a large amount of booze, and then passed out. The suspect, a very intoxicated raccoon. When police arrived on scene, they found the masked bandit asleep on the bathroom floor. It appears the animal had broken into the store, ransacked several shelves, and after sampling the products, went into the restroom before passing out. The officer took the drunk raccoon to an animal shelter to sober up. It was eventually released back into the wild, a little hungover perhaps, but no worse for wear.
A drunk raccoon. That's a first.
I know, never. I mean, raccoons will stop at nothing to get food or whatever.
Yeah.
So he must have knocked down some of the bottles and just
had a sample or 2,
or 3 or 4.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, it is time for Homeward Bound, a new weekly segment where we introduce you to furry friends from local rescues who are looking for their forever home.
Here are some pets from the BC SPCA.
Okay, don't let her name fool you. Curly is a Sphinx munchkin who is as unique as she is lovable. The 8-year-old requires a bit of extra TLC, including regular baths and skincare and a special vet-prescribed diet. Curly is a gentle cat who would do best in a calm, quiet home without small children or other pets. She is available for adoption at the BC SPCA in Richmond. Really unique looking, Craig.
Absolutely, yeah. Gloria was taken in as a stray and has won over staff with her sweet and gentle nature. The 5-year-old pit bull terrier is an endlessly curious pup who loves exploring the yard and sniffing every corner she can find. If you're looking for a loyal companion who loves snacks and outdoor adventures, Gloria may be your perfect match. She is available for adoption at the BC SPCA in Burnaby.
And Lorenzo is a charming and social tabby who enjoys interacting with people. The 2-year-old loves hanging in his cat tree and having space to roam, so would do better in a house over a condo. He's looking for an adult-only home without other animals or small children. Lorenzo is available for adoption at the BC SPCA in Vancouver. And for more information, you can head to adopt.spca.bc.ca. And Craig, since we've been running our Homeward Bound segment, several of the animals have found their forever home.
Oh, that's great news.
Yeah, so let's keep our viewers engaged, and maybe a few more will find a good home.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, we'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off, but Craig, what's coming up tonight?
So, Jung, we do have a busy night ahead of us. We are following the developments in today's political chaos of the BC Conservatives. Our Mark McMahon is diving into the statements that John Rustad is not leaving his position of leader, even though the party announced he was out earlier in the day. We'll have plenty of reaction to this and what experts are saying about the turmoil tonight at 11:30.
Yeah, pretty chaotic time for the Conservatives.
No kidding.
Plenty of fallout that we'll be following.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks a lot. Well, finally, Adam finds out what happened after a Victoria woman scrolled past her own face, staring right back at her from a stranger's profile. And what started online quickly turned into a real-life connection. On tonight's Sawatsky sign-off.
When Felicia Harding looked at her phone that day, she never expected to see a stranger smiling from the screen who looked just like her.
I was blown away. She really did look like me.
She was Brittany Delaney, who was also surprised when a friend said she found her doppelganger on social media.
If I wouldn't have been looking at somebody else's profile, I would have thought they were photos of me.
After connecting online, Brittany and Felicia finally met in person.
And it was like this out-of-body experience where I felt like this is how people see me.
They found their similarities range from the superficial, like being able to unlock each other's phones and liking exactly the same beer, to the more substantial, like both working as entrepreneurs and both picking musicians as their partners.
There's a million things that are the same.
They formed a fast friendship, and Brittany was invited to Felicia's wedding, where, after family kept mixing them up, the women decided to do a DNA test.
A little surprised in finding out that we were both not related at all.
Although they aren't long-lost siblings, both women do feel like sisters. Even Brittany's son often can't tell them apart.
And they have like a crazy bond. He just loves her.
Loves her so much that if you show the boy a picture of Felicia and ask who it is,
it's the other mama.
The other mama.
Yes.
Which brings us to the women's big difference. Their fertility journeys. Felicia hasn't been able to have kids.
Feeling like an auntie and, feeling like other mama. Like, to me, that's really special.
But the greatest gift in finding your doppelganger, they say, is seeing yourself from a whole new perspective.
Felt, almost a little bit healing for me, because sometimes there are things you don't like about yourself, but then watching her and interacting with her, I was just like, oh, I think she's so lovely.
A sense of self-acceptance. That's perhaps a reminder to all of us to be kinder to the reflection we see in the mirror. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And they have so many similarities. They have the same smile, too.
Absolutely. Same smile, same hair color, everything. It's incredible.
It's pretty neat that they've become friends, too. Have you ever met someone who was your doppelganger?
I don't think so. It's always a dangerous conversation. If it's not like Brad Pitt or something like that, it's like, maybe just hold it back. But, yeah.
Apparently, when I was at UBC, there was a woman who looked just like me, and I was always wanting to run into her, but never did. But since then, haven't found a doppelganger.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, a programming note. Our show will actually air at 4 o'clock tomorrow, CTV News at 4, just for one day because of football preemptions. We'll have all your top stories and live coverage of Toy Mountain at Guildford Town Centre, and Lou will be there, so come on down and bring your unwrapped toy and be on CTV News, possibly.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Good night.